This tour of Kadapa and Anantapur, covering both the districts, its important locations, temples and the terrain, is both a wonder and a tribute to the splendor and history of India's heritage. We started one early January morning from Anantapur, in Anantapur district, Andhra Pradesh. The first stop for the day is the Agastya Pyramid Meditation Center. We meditated for some time inside the pyramid, which had a profound quietening effect. Then we started on a drive of 38 kilometers to Penna Ahobilam, where Lord Narsimha Swami's temple is located. On the banks of a rivulet of river Penna, water flows through a concealed tunnel in the temple called Antarvahini, hence the name Penna Ho Bilam. After darshan, we continued on a half-hour drive to Kasapuram, home to Sri Nattikanti Anjaneya Swami temple. This is very popular and has a deep historical significance. After spending some time there, we drove to Gooty, a 52-kilometer ride, where we sighted the Gooty Fort. After lunch, we proceeded towards Alurkona via Tadipatri. Here lies the majestic Sri Ranganatha temple, believed to be 575 years old. The surroundings are magical with the greenery, hills and a waterfall. We spent an hour or so there. We resumed our journey towards Tadipatri. Here the Bugga Ramalingeswara temple is located. This was declared as a protected monument by the Archaeological Survey of India. This temple is a magnificent piece of art. From there we went to visit the Chintala Venkata Ramana Swami temple, also known as Chintala Rayudu Gudi. This is located in the heart of Tadipatri town and is yet another masterpiece in sculpture. From there, we drove to Kadapa, found a hotel and settled for the night. By 7 in the morning, we set off to Talapaka, an hour's drive from Kadapa. Talapaka is the birthplace of Annamaya, who is known to have written and sung 32,000 songs in praise of various gods, especially Lord Sri Venkateswara. We spent some time and proceeded towards Attirala. This is considered to be the Gaya Kshetram of South India. There are two temples on a hill slope dedicated to Gadadhara and Treteswara. The next stop was Nandaluru on the highway to Kadapa. Here the marvelous Sri Swaminatha temple is located. Built during the 11th century, the great poets Nannaya and later Tikkanna are believed to have worshipped here. This place is frequented by Hindus and Muslims alike. After darshan and a leisurely stroll around the temple complex, we set off to Untimetta to see the famous Sri Kodandarama Swami temple. This temple architecture, sculpture and surroundings are a delight to any visitor. It is a pleasure to know of the many legends associated with this temple, especially about Bhakta Potana, whose divine experience elevates one's sense of deep devotion. This temple too has Hindu and Muslim devotees visiting here. After lunch, we resumed our tour. The next stop was Pushpagiri, which is famous for art and literature, and the only place in Andhra Pradesh where the holy Peetham of Sri Shankaracharya is located. The Chennakeswar temple is also here, right on the banks of river Penna. From here, after a 45-minute ride, we reached Animala, which is home to the Sri Sangamaheshwara temple. Situated on the confluence of two rivers, Papagani and Pavani. This is a Shiva temple built among a picturesque surroundings. After a brief stop, our next halt would be Vempalli at a distance of 12 kilometers. A further ride of 7 kilometers took us to Gandi Veeranjaneya temple. The temple is on the banks of the river Papagani, which flows between two hillocks. It is believed that Lord Hanuman resides in the idol. Legend here points out that a festoon exists tied between both the hills over the river, a Makaratoranam, but is visible only to exalted personage or Mahanubhavulu in Telugu, but not to anyone else. It is recorded and displayed here that an Englishman, a district collector, during the years 1800 to 1807, cited this festoon and claimed it to be marvelous. After a deeply fulfilling darshan of Hanumanji, we embarked upon a 2-hour ride to Kadiri in Anantapur district, where we stayed the night. We were ready by 7 in the morning. Since the Kadiri temple is open to devotees only at 8 in the morning, we drove on to Lepakshi, a 2-hour ride. The Lepakshi Veerabhadra temple was constructed between 1530 AD and 1542 AD. The sculpture in this temple is phenomenal and captivating. It is a marvel in stone. The monolithic Nandi outside the temple is an exceptional beauty. The legends and myths attributed to this entire complex are intriguing, with numerous stories spanning different yugas, depositing their mark in the architecture and design. One wonders the dexterity and ingenuity in this marvelous temple complex. After spending some time, we moved on. The next stop was after a 2-hour ride to Hemavati. Here an exquisitely carved 9th century Sri Siddheswara Swami temple is located, where the main deity is an 8 feet tall idol of Lord Shiva. This is rare, where Shiva is worshipped in his original form and not as a linga. There is a museum near the temple complex. After completing darshan and a quick visit to the museum, we were treated to an excellent lunch by a charitable Samiti, which offers free lunch to devotees. The Samiti accepts donations to pursue their cause. Soon after lunch, we drove on to Pavagada in Karnataka state. Here the famous Sri Saneeswara temple is located, which also houses the Navagrahas, the idols of the presiding deity Saneeswara and his consort Sri Jyestha Devi are made of the Panchalohas, the 5 metal alloy. The temple is very colorful and located in the heart of the town. Our next destination was Penugonda, where the Kumbhakona project is located. It sits next to the national highway and is worth visiting. Then we continued on, briefly stopping by the Babaya Dargah, a place frequented by Hindus too. By 6 in the evening, we reached Gorantla with a brief stop at the Madhavaraya temple, which is more of a park than a temple. After a 2-hour ride, we reached Kadiri, had an evening darshan of Sri Narasimha Swami at the temple and retired for the night. Early next morning, we had another darshan. The Kadiri Narasimha Swami temple is a very important kshetram for devotees and is believed to belong to the golden age or Kruta Yugam. The surrounding region is called Vedaranya, since Vedavyasa had traversed these forests. Soon after, we drove on to Palapati Dinne. This is a famous Anjaneya Swami temple. It is an open area enclosure with a rock slab engraved idol. This is a powerful temple, though very simple, and folklore has reason to believe so. We drove on to Timmanna Marrimanu, a giant banyan tree around 650 years old. It is listed as the world's biggest banyan tree, covering an area of 25 hectares. The gradual growth in coverage area is recorded and displayed here. Our next stop was Katurpalli, where the Samadhi of Yogi Vemana is located. Our last stop for the day was at Dharmavaram, where we had a darshan of Chennakeswar temple. We reached Anantapur later, where the tour ended. Thus ended our tour of Kadapa and Anantapur district temples. The magnificent architecture and historical importance found here is simply overwhelming. The detailed planning of this tour was done by Srinivas Bharadwaj, who has extensively researched on each and every detail. Many thanks to him. Thank you.